Hi.
Hi, I'm Mr. Randalls. I'm a counselor here at Laverne.
Hi, Mr. Randalls. My name is Maggie.
Nice to meet you, Maggie.
You as well.
I just want to let you know before we get started that anything that we talk about will be confidential unless you disclose with me anything of destruction of property, yourself or someone else hurting themselves, or if there's any kind of abuse or neglect or anything like that going on, then I have to report it.
Okay.
Okay, you understand that?
I do.
Everything okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. So what brings you in today?
I guess I'm really emotionally distraught right now because my dad just lost the battle with cancer recently, so I'm really like down in dumps. It was something that was so quick. He went in on October 7th into the hospital in Covina, and then he was there for about a month, and they weren't really doing much with him, and I just noticed him getting worse. So we took him out of that hospital and took him over to Cedars-Sinai in West Hollywood. And as soon as he got there, the date was November 7th, they did an endoscopy, and they found a mass, biopsied it. On November 14th, we found out he had pancreatic cancer. And then on November 30th, he passed away. So it was just something that happened like so fast, and it's just really hard for me to like cope with it.
So you feel like you're still trying to catch up with everything that's happened?
Extremely, like extremely. It happened like so fast forward that it's just, I'm still kind of stuck in this like phase where I just don't even think it really even happened.
Right, and you don't believe that any of it's even happened yet.
It's so weird, yeah.
And that's a normal feeling too, because it takes a while before that actually sets in that, you know, this has happened and this is what's going on, and you're going to feel that way for quite some time. That's part of the grieving process. So let me ask you this. Let's back up a little bit and tell me a little bit about your relationship with your father before any of this happening. You know, how the two of you were growing up and your closeness and everything.
Well, we're Mexican, so we're extremely close with like relatives. And I was like my dad's first girl. I was the one they tried for 5 years. Like, I always joke about it with my other siblings that I was the only one that they really wanted because they tried for me for 5 years. But from day one, it was just like instant connection. I mean, I remember I used to sing songs with him, and I mean, yeah, we had the closest relationship ever. I mean, up until I moved out for the first time when I was like 19 years old, and then I was gone for a couple of years. I was just losing my mind. And then I came back home, and things were always rocky with me in my last relationship. And so I would come home and out, in and out, in and out. So it was like my dad always was my safety. He was always my safety net, my peace. So,
Right.
You know, we've always had such a close relationship, and now it's kind of like he's not there. And that safety net, it's kind of like not there.
So you feel like that safety net's gone?
It's gone. It's totally gone. Yeah.
Do you believe that it's gone when you think about it?
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean by that is all the times that you've gone back to your dad, you know, what was that like? Like, what was it that he would tell you or do for you that would make you feel like that safety net was there and everything was going to be okay? What would he say?
You know, it's funny that you say that. What would he say? Because he wasn't a big talker.
Okay.
But he was such a provider. Like, he was an amazing provider. Like, my mom's a talker. And, you know, my parents just celebrated on November 2nd their 39th anniversary. So it was just like, just having that presence, you know. It's just like having him there, sitting in that chair, like always, like watching his sports or whatever. And it's just, he was the biggest goofball. So just like always having him there. And my dad was like overly affectionate, like to the point where we're always just like, Dad, get off. Like, he was just always all over us, like always. So it's kind of just like, it's kind of hard to even imagine, like, wow, he's not there anymore, you know. So it's just, it's really hard. And so yeah, what he said, he never really said much, but just knowing that he was there, you know, and then now kind of feeling his presence is not there. And then like me being the oldest and having to take lead on everything. like from day one.
Mhm.
Is he getting cared for? Like, my mom hasn't coped with this well since he went in the hospital, so all my life had to be put on complete hold. Like, I literally had to take charge of everything, because my mom wasn't in her right mind to take care of anything, and me being the oldest, that was my job. And I was happy it was my job, but it's not until now that that busyness is over, that now I'm realizing how much I've neglected every other aspect of my life, like school, like my kids, you know, it's just like.
Tell me about the feeling of neglecting your family, your kids. Why do you think that is? What makes you feel like you haven't been paying much attention to them?
Well, because I notice a change in their behavior. Like, my kids are psychotic as it is. Like, I have 2 boys, one's almost 6 and one just turned 3. I mean, they're just insane boys. And having to deal with the roller coaster of my past relationship with their dad just kind of like messed up my older son a little bit. And I feel like I finally got a grasp on his behavior. I finally got a grasp on his mind and on his heart and his soul, to kind of try to reshape him into like a nicer boy. Like, he went through a really aggressive phase. And
How old was he when you and your
Ex-
husband separated?
let's see. You know what? My ex started using drugs when my son was December, January, February, March, April. When my son was 4 months old. So ever since my 6-year-old was 4 months old, it was a constant roller coaster. So pretty much his whole life. And we finally moved out for good 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Like, that was just like it. I had had it. And so, so it's a very recent thing for us. And these past 2.5 years, you know, being with my family again, we moved back in with my parents. And just having their support, my dad's support, my mom's support, like, as far as discipline goes with them, we were kind of able to like get them back on track, you know? And the reason that I feel like I've neglected them is because they've been spending more time with their dad. And I've noticed my absence, because he started getting in trouble at school again. He started becoming really aggressive again. I mean, he's not the
And you
best
feel like
example.
it's your fault?
Oh
that
yeah,
these
it's
things are
totally
happening?
my fault. It was totally my fault, because I wasn't able to be there. It's just what it is what it is. I wasn't able to be there. I had to be there for my dad. So I know it was my fault, but there was really nothing I could do about it, you know?
Have you, I know that your son's very young,
Yeah.
but kids are also very intelligent and they know what's going on a lot of the time. Have you set your son down and talked to him, or gone somewhere fun and a place that's comfortable for him? And, I mean, I don't know, it could be Chuck E. Cheese, somewhere like that, you know, and explain to him what's going on with you and where you're at.
I do.
As far as, you know, with your grandfather passing away, mom's been really busy trying to take care of things and get that handled. I'm not putting you off to the side right now. What's your son's name?
Wesley.
Wesley, I'm not putting you off to the side right now. You're the most important thing in my life, but I'm trying to get everything taken care of as far as what happened with your grandfather.
Well, I am like a talker. I'm a big talker. I always have been. So like, I talked to him through it every single day. Every day that I wasn't there, every day that I couldn't pick him up from school, and I'd say, well, you know, they're excited to see their dad because he was absent for so long. So like, now he's like the Disneyland dad that, like, you know, he puts on this big hoorah for them. And so I've always talked to him and said, hey, you know what? Mommy's got exactly what you just said. Like, I've always been very open with him and everything, but it's influence. You know, kids are so easily influenced, and especially by someone that they look up to, like their dad. And being that he's not a very good disciplinarian, I guess I could say. I mean, he's trying his hardest. He's been clean for a while, so I give him points. But, you know, he ruins our kids as far as, like, character, you know, and
Explain to me what you mean by character.
being a good kid, like not socking your mom, like not walking by me and like kicking me in the shin for no reason, you know, and thinking it's funny, because that's the way he plays with them. He'll like kick them, or he'll kick them in the private, or just like,
Your husband?
yeah.
Or your sorry, your ex?
Ex.
Your ex would do
Yes.
these things with your...
That's the way he plays with them, and I've always disagreed, but you
So
could
he's been
tell.
more of a buddy is what you're saying?
Oh, yes, that's the word, ding, 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 buddy.
So do you think that maybe he's trying to be more of a buddy towards them because he doesn't want to be that disciplinary and feels maybe like he may push them away by giving them that structure,
Yep.
that's what you're saying?
He was gone for so long, and he's trying to make up for lost time by doing everything fun. And I mean, everything, like from the way that you could tell with his homework, if he did it with me or if he did it with him, like absolutely everything, the way that, everything about him. So that comes with a lot of like guilt, just having to like know that, you know, I guess luckily is for my kids' sake, it's better that it was faster,
Mhm.
my dad's process, because now I'm kind of back, but I'm not really back, like mentally. So like I literally like for a long time I didn't even shower for like a week and I didn't even know it. Like I hadn't done laundry in a month and a half. I just started doing it yesterday, I'm not even kidding. There's like 8 loads. It's ridiculous. Like just like everything kind of settling back, and then the whole passing, and then knowing that I'm the one that has to do the arrangements, and that was like the most horrifying experience that I could ever imagine.
Sounds like you're putting a lot of responsibility and the stresses on yourself.
It is.
So why do you feel that it's your duty to take on everything yourself?
Because nobody else helps. And my mom just sits there and cries. It's kind of like,
So do you feel like you have to be the strong one and take the initiative to get things done?
by no means am I strong. Like I cry my way through everything, but as far as productiveness, yes, I'm the one that does everything.
Well, strong people cry too. But don't get me wrong, but what I mean by that is you feel like you have those responsibilities because and what I mean by strong is you're the one trying to get everything taken care of and taken care of the right way, like you feel like it's not gonna get done unless I do it.
And
Is that
that's
accurate?
true, yeah, and that's just the truth of the situation. Like, it's me and my brother, we're the ones that are close in age, and then there's another pair. So I'm 8 years and 10 years older than my younger siblings.
Mhm.
So they're just like out, they're just like out of the woodwork. They don't deal with that kind of stuff. Like, I'm the one online, like checking different mortuaries, I mean, it's just horrible.
And when is the funeral?
It's coming up this Sunday.
This Sunday?
So, you know, we're close to that, but it's just kind of like it came at a really hard time. And, I mean, there wasn't any other way to do it. There's really nobody else that could take lead. This is kind of it's just the way that it is, but it's hard. You know, it's just really hard.
Have you guys had, since your father passed away, have you and your other siblings and your mom and your whole family, have you guys gotten together and discussed everything that's going on and talked about, you know, where everybody's at and kind of checked in with everybody? Have you guys done that yet?
Yeah, you know, I used to have, like I said before, I'm a big talker, so I sat them down when I noticed they were being really distant and like not going to the hospital, and I mean, I
So
literally.
this is before
This
he
is
passed
before he
away.
passed. So it started when he was in the hospital, the like distance, like my brothers are kind of like, they're a little iffy. And as far as like dedication
Mhm.
and closeness with family, like if their friends called them to go do something like, oh, I can't be there until this time because I'm gonna go do this with my friend, you know, type of attitude. But I think that's maybe just like a guy thing, and that was before we knew he had cancer. So like just from the beginning, like I even sat down and talked to them. I said, you know what, guys, like you need to make this your priority. Like you need to make this your priority. I literally called to work and said, I'm not gonna pick up I'm a substitute teacher. I'm not gonna pick up any jobs for who knows how long because I need to deal with this.
Mhm.
And they were understanding. So like I literally have no finances whatsoever because I had to take that step. And when we found out he had cancer, we were literally there like every single day. And I even set up a schedule
Mhm.
saying, okay, I put all of our names on there and I said, okay, you tell me what time you're going on which day. And we need to fill these things because if my dad's gonna fight this, he's gonna need us with him, like all the time. My mom literally moved in. I took more time off of work. And like I had this schedule set up and everybody had their names, and my only goal was to get that filled up because everybody had to be there. Everybody had to put forth the effort because I told them, you guys are putting this all on me, like this is a lot for me too. Like my sister didn't want to go because, oh, I have to do this, or I can't leave my daughter, and I'm like, you know what?
They were all putting it on you, or
Oh,
you felt like you
I
were
felt
putting
like they were putting it on me.
You felt like they were.
And I told them, you're putting this all on me. You know, like, we need to set the schedule up because we need to divvy it up. It's taking too much on me, it's taking too much on my kids. And towards the end, honestly, we were all there almost every day, all day long. And up until a week before he passed, like I literally like moved in, like a week and a half, I was like moved into the hospital. Like I would just go home to like see my kids for a little bit and then I'd go right back. So, I mean, and it was the way it was supposed to be, and we would always have sibling conversations about it, and because there's a lot of decisions that needed to be made along the way. And so we're really close, but still everything's always on me.
It sounds like, by what you're explaining, that it's not so much that your family put that on you purposely, as it sounds more like it's something within yourself that you feel you need to do.
Yeah.
And if they don't help, you're feeling like they've just dropped it on you.
It just doesn't happen.
What doesn't happen?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, like days passed after my daddy passed away, and nothing was spoken of. Nobody had said, okay, let's make a list of mortuaries, like, because things need to get done.
Right.
I was lost in it too. Like I didn't even know what the first step was either.
Right.
But I kind of just Googled it. I started Googling like, different places, and then like setting up schedules and like trying to get people to come with me to come look at the places, and so it just doesn't happen. It's just kind of one of those things where it's just like your job. Like nobody has to tell you it is, but it just.
You just feel like that's your role.
It just is. Yeah, it just kind of is.
Has that felt like that's always been your role?
Yeah.
Because you're the oldest,
Yeah.
is that you have to do it?
Yeah.
One of the things that I would like to leave you with, that I would like for you to do, because you mentioned that you talked to your family while your father was in the hospital, but now the tables have turned, now that he's passed away and all the planning is going on. I think that it'd be beneficial and very important if
I'm sorry.
that if you got your family together all at the same time, maybe over like dinner or something, got them all together and sat down and talked and checked in with each person to see where they're at as far as how they're feeling with the way things are going on, and start laying out suggestions of, I've looked at these places online, like you're telling me. What do you guys think of this or that? Because everybody should have an input on what's going on. And you shouldn't feel that it's all your responsibility, because you're just gonna stress yourself out and put yourself in a place where, like you said, with your kids, you feel like you're drugged over here having to take care of everything, and you're leaving things behind. So you really need to find that balance and talk to everybody and get everybody on board to where everybody's taking a part. Does that sound like something you could do?
Yes.
Yes. Do you
That
think
sounds
that
good.
would help?
I think that would help. Yes.
Because you know your family better than I do.
Yeah.
I've never met them. So.
Right.
So that may be something that'll help you. So that's something that I would like for you to do before we leave here, before we meet next time.
Okay.
Okay? Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss over here?
I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it?
Mhm.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Feel good?
I guess.
Feel good? I know everything's fresh and new.
My
and
dad just died, but I feel okay.
Everything's new, and you're gonna feel a lot of different feelings, as far as your emotions go, with anger and guilt and everything else. You're gonna go through all those, because like you said, it just happened, and you feel like, did that just happen?
It was like 1 week ago.
Yeah. It's gonna take quite some time, and it's gonna be a long process. It's not gonna go away. So you need to realize that too. So we'll just take a step at a time, and like I said, so you don't feel overwhelmed with everything, it'd be good for you to meet with your family and discuss everything going on with how you feel like you're taking on everything. Hey, everybody help out, because they're family and that's their job. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so maybe this time next week.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks a lot. Nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you too.